Meet him.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Alhamdulillah. Wow. Claim your inheritance and be mindful of your indebtedness to your Lord. I didn't know the power that statement or that title for the convention would have, but it reached people of all different faiths, people of all different walks of life, and it's had a resounding effect on the soul or the pulse of our community. And I felt it all weekend, and alhamdulillah, I'm grateful and thankful to Allah that I'm able to be a part of this and to be a witness to His great mercy and His great blessing that He has bestowed on the African American people, those coming through the experience, those of us coming through the experience of our 80-year legacy with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, my father, and myself. And Alfred just mentioned our birthdays, and I said, yeah, we are Scorpios. I said, that's something I don't think about, but as a child, I said, yeah, our birthdays all in that close area. October, late October, and early November, alhamdulillah. And as a child, it helped make me feel closer to my father with that knowledge, and also with my grandfather, at whom I was not, I was too young to know him before he passed. But through the community that he led, in the community that he sacrificed and loved so dearly, and his followers, whom I consider to be my family, I believe I experienced who the man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the true image, the true picture, not that beautiful picture that made him so popular when promoting Savior's Day and on the cover of the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. That's what I used to see, that man with that proud face, looking up to the sky, holding his chin up high, wearing the crown. When I was a little boy, I used to look at it and I think to myself, the logic that it led to, I said, well, my grandfather was a king, and my father succeeded. I said, he must have been king too, because he was wearing a crown. And when our whole lives were changed, turned upside down, I didn't know anything about the Nation of Islam. I went to, I don't know how popular the Catholic school was that I went to, called the Montessori schools, but they were kind of an experimental school. I'm not sure if they're still around. But I went there for my first learning, preschool, kindergarten, and those early years to about 8 and maybe I might have been 7, 8 years old. And so when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed, the FOI came to the house. I thought he was being arrested. They were in uniforms and they were, soldiers, police. But I didn't think that it was the police, because they was all African American, but I knew they were serious. It was serious business, because they whisked him out of the house, and it appeared almost as fast as they arrived, they left with him. And, that's a lasting image in the mind of a child. Only thing I could compare it to is maybe an alien abduction or something. Spaceship came down and snatched my father out the house. He was just a common father, loving family man, just like the average man in the house. So alhamdulillah, this community is greatly blessed. And inheritance. My name also is associated. My name Warithu means inheritor. It's an attribute of Allah. Warithu literally means inheritor or inheritance. Yeah, but when I first heard the committee come up with the topic of claiming your inheritance, I associated with the language of what was in the air at the time. Reparations, I thought they had stopped talking about reparations, but I heard that our president had mentioned reparations. So I thought to myself, he's a politician, we're not politicians, so we should try to second guess or go ahead of him. We should understand the point of view he's coming from, that justice is blind, and that if equal treatment is going to be given to all people, and where truly justice is blind, that the African American should also be met with justice, and reparations should be something that, if only, I'm not speaking for him, but if not symbolically, it should be something put on the table by any wise leadership for this country. So I immediately thought to myself, being Muslim, I thought of Surah Al-Rahman, and I'm thinking to myself, I said, well, if we're going to claim anything, we have to first acknowledge that it is Allah, Lord of everything, the Lord of all systems of knowledge. As our beloved Imam Warithu-deen Muhammad, he opened our minds and our vision and our understanding, insight to the Quran, just so miraculously. I can go on and on and on about how, when he speaks, we were preparing to come down for breakfast this morning, and I think my wife, she said something to the effect of, she talks about my father more than I do. She said that Imam Muhammad, he's not like other speakers, you know, politicians, preachers, whatever have you. She said that when he speaks, he's giving information, and he's educating and he's teaching, and it's just mind-boggling the amount of benefit you get just from listening to him. And I said, yeah, these aren't her exact words, but that was what she was expressing, is that Imam Muhammad, and I always associate that ability that he has with his sincerity and his sincere knowledge, his scholarly knowledge of religious sciences, and especially the revelation of the Holy Quran and the life of Prophet Muhammad. That Imam Muhammad was so close and in tune with the spirit of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he was able to convey the spirit of the Holy Quran in the native tongue that we speak, in the English language, in such an effective way that it touched the soul of the average man, and bred life. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's known as, and he is the universal man. And when you speak of, I think 44, I was thinking of 4. Whenever I hear 4 or 40, I'm thinking of, it reminds me that Prophet Muhammad was the perfect man and the universal man, that his message came to speak to all of the issues that address mankind and address human beings, and all of the issues and important matters of creation itself, and how mankind, being the highest creation of God, is connected to all of these things. And with the knowledge of that, us being a new people, African American people, it's my strong belief that the great benefit that we see in the past, that Allah is urging us on and moving us on forward to look at the signs, Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, what this man accomplished, not having the purity of Islam, is just a sign of what we need to have the freedom, justice, and equality that we call, that Islam calls for. That was just language, but today it's more true, and it's more necessary. It's more necessary now that we have the understanding of what these things mean. It's such a miracle, And I've witnessed things. I would think if I heard the story of us, how the language of our community, the language of the Nation of Islam has evolved full circle with the same things, you know, people may have chuckled about and had some doubt to wonder what, you know, what do they mean? Who is the original man, and how the original man? And for things to come, the knowledge to be plain and clear that Adam, that God, when he said he was creating a man, or creating a Khalifa or vicegerent on earth, and he asked the angels, all of the angels, to bow down. And they, being angels and having angel nature, of course follow suit. That language, that Nation of Islam language, was very in the forefront, very prevalent. And now we know, we have full knowledge that the human soul is connected, that the life, that all things in this material reality have a connection, and we have a connection, and that there's a natural eve and there's a natural flow of things. And we're walking in full daylight. Our knowledge, the religious sciences aren't something that we shy away from. It's something that we understand with a clear mind. Not all of us, not every one of us, but those that have been students of Imam Warithu-deen Muhammad. And not just the scholars, not just the imams. You can go walk into any masajid and find any believer that has studied and lived long enough to get some of the teachings from Imam Warithu-deen Muhammad, and they can speak to you about scripture, speak to you about life with good, solid insight, and with a peace and a confidence, knowing that that their relationship with their Creator, that their Lord, is on the right track. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Yeah. So my call is for us to try to broaden our aspirations, you know, and stop living our lives as blacks, as African American, or poor people, or as or just a common man, because it's all the signs are pointing towards that the earth. I believe in the connectedness of truth and universality. That I believe probably every creature, the angels, the jinns, the humanity, every nationality, every race is being affected and feels the presence of the rise of this new people, the new African American people. That, as we explained before, you know, people say, well, how are you a new people? You come from ancient people in Africa. Imam had explained to us before that the African American, the dynamic African American soul was born here on these shores of North America, on this earth, due to the, and I'm thinking, I hear Imam, I'm thinking about what I heard Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There was a brother telling me about an interview he did with Honorable Elijah Muhammad had with Mike Wallace. And he asked him how come he wasn't asking for separation from the rest of the America to start anew anymore on the back of the paper. He noticed it wasn't there. He said, because my people were born here and died here. It's too much of their blood in the soil of this earth. That we are Native Americans. We are true Americans. And Imam Warithu-deen Muhammad, he was raised by that man that believed that this is our home and this is our permanent home, and that God, when God was creating a new people, and the circumstances that bring a people close together is usually an identification with a very strong emotional past, where that emotional past is so strong that any emotional attachment that they may gain in the future to anything else has to come secondary. You know, it has to come secondary. They could teach us all about Africa, but Africa was emptied out of us, so we had no knowledge. All we have of